The word of scripture for today's sermon comes from 1 John chapter 4, 15 to 21. If anyone acknowledges that Jesus is the Son of God, God lives in him and they in God. And so we know and rely on the love God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in him. This is how love is made complete among us, so that we will have confidence on the day of judgment. In the world we are like Jesus. There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. We love because he first loved us.
Hey everyone, just here with extraordinary attorney Wu, whale watching. Haven't seen any whales yet, so I might as well tell you about the show. Extraordinary Attorney Wu is a Korean drama about a 27-year-old lawyer named Woo Young-woo. She's a rookie attorney with autism spectrum disorder. Now, autism spectrum disorder, or ASD for short, enables her to solve these cases in extraordinary ways with her photographic memory, and she retains every detail of everything she's ever seen and heard, and her IQ is 164. And combine that, she just has this out-of-the-box way of thinking. And so Woo Young-woo is an attorney who always saves the day in court, solving complicated cases, and we always have a whale of a time watching her. Her ASD, however, has its downsides. Woo Young-woo does not fit in socially. She faces constant discrimination. And relationally, she finds it difficult to care for others and care about others, especially the people in her life that love her most. Her dad can't hug her because Woo hates being hugged. The only way she lets her dad express his love for her is by him making her gimbap. He makes it, puts it on her plate, perfectly aligned, yet Woo still has to adjust the pieces a little bit to make it perfect. So Woo's dad expresses his love for her in her love language, but Woo is never able to express her love back to him in his love language. She finds it difficult to communicate in complex emotions. And that is why those who love Woo Young-woo tend to be very lonely people. Now, every good K-drama has a slow burn, romantic love story in it, doesn't it? Now, don't we all love Jung-ho? Jung-ho works at the same law firm as Woo Young-woo. Now, someone commented on YouTube, Jung-ho is a refreshing character, so respectful and accommodating to her. How is he falling for her so purely, even after knowing she's difficult and different? That doesn't bother him at all. All he sees is a beautiful human. And so the awkward romance begins. They go on dates like protesting for the protection and preservation of whales. There's a huge cringe factor, yet Jung-ho loves Woo so much he's willing to be embarrassed, joining her, standing up for whales. That's his expression of love for her, in her love language. And then hilariously, one or two times, they hold hands in the show, and Woo Young-woo can only hold hands for 57 seconds. She hates it the entire time, but it's such a delight to watch as she tries to love Jung-ho in his love language, but meanwhile it's killing her. How can you say I love you to someone in 1,000 different ways but never use conventional ways of doing it? That's what the show is amazing at. That's what the show orchestrates. The show makes you ask yourself, what does it take to work hard at expressing love in creative ways, unique ways, rather than just the ordinary? And the show's writers are talented, and they're screaming at us, come on people, there's a million ways to say I love you. Let's think outside the box. Let's be extraordinary in how we express our love to those we cherish. We can all do this, people. Now, there's a million comments online about Woo and Jung-ho's relationship. One YouTube person commented, "Oh God, I wish this world would consist of such patiently listening and understanding partners. We need Jung-ho in real life." And when I read those words, I was struck by her words, "Oh God." Because when I hear someone say, "Oh God," or "Oh my God," as a swear word, I don't take it as a swear word, but rather as that person is praying, but they just don't know it. Unconsciously, their heart is praying to God, whom they don't know yet. And so this person is praying that they may find a love like Jung-ho, a beautiful love. Now there's this phenomena today where women around the world watch K-dramas and then they pray this exact prayer and then move to Korea in order to seek out a Jung-ho. The problem is, Jung-ho doesn't exist. Not in real life anyway. And they get so disappointed and so hurt. And perhaps we, like this person who's writing this prayer, need to pray, "Oh God, we need Jung-ho in real life." But instead of moving to Korea and looking for a Jung-ho, why don't we use some of Woo Young-woo's creativity and out-of-the-box thinking? And instead, why don't we see if we can find the source of that love and make that love happen in our own life where we live right now? John 4, or 1 John 4:16 says, God is love. Isn't that amazing? God is love. So whenever we see true agape love acted out in life, like saying I love you 1,000 times, like watching someone creatively express their love to someone in that person's love language, well, that creative, kind expression of love was brought to you by someone. It was authored and inspired by someone. And our verses say that someone is God. God is love. Verse 16 continues, the one who abides in love abides in God, and God abides in them. 3 times in a row we see this word abide. And the word abide in biblical Greek is meno. Meno means to live in and to dwell in. So the one who lives and dwells in love lives and dwells in God, and God lives and dwells in them. Why is agape love the least boring thing in the entire world? Because it loves creatively, because it loves extravagantly, because it loves sacrificially, just like those awkward expressions of love on the show. They point us to the source of love. Now, have you ever heard of the word telos? It's a word we use in philosophy and theology. And the word telos, we get the word telescope from. And the word telos is in our verses. Verse 17, by living and dwelling in God's love, love is telos, perfected in us. So when you think of the word telos, think of the word telescope, because that's where we get the word telos, or we use the word telos in telescope. And when you look through the lens of a telescope, there's the beginning, which is you. There's the middle, what you're seeing through. And there's the end, there's the goal. There's what we are looking through at the end, and that's the end part. But telos doesn't mean the end, doesn't mean the beginning, and doesn't mean the middle part. It means all of it. You can't have telos without the beginning, end, and middle. Eugene Peterson talks about life with God as a long obedience in the same direction. So it's the entire piece of that that makes telos. So according to our verses, who is the telos of God's love? And before you yell out Jesus, read the verse with me. By abiding in God's love, love is perfected in us. God's love is perfected. God's love finds its goal. God's love finds its end in us as we abide in God, because as we've already said, God is love. Which means every time we see love at work, we can search back through that telescope and see God as the source of that love, the beginning of that love, and the end of that love, the entire telos of that love, because as we abide in God, His love finds its telos perfection in us. And that is why love feels so good, because when we are in this love and attached to this love, we are attached to eternity. That's why love feels good, because there's an eternalness, eternity. God's eternity touches us and we become alive. That's why love is so amazing. As we embody love, we embody God. God is eternal. So sell that plane ticket to Korea, okay? And instead look to the author and the source of love. You won't be disappointed. And then once you've discovered this agape love, God's love, then buy your ticket back to Korea. And instead of looking for a young ho, you won't need to anymore, because you have the source and the power of love inside of you. Instead of doing that, just go around and take a K-drama tour of Seoul. God is going to give you the courage and the strength to love extravagantly, creatively, just like He does. 2 questions. What are the most creative and outside of the box ways of expressing agape love that you have ever been given or received? Second question, how has God demonstrated His love for you this week? Because Jesus Christ is the perfection, is the telos of God's love. Jesus gave up His life for you, for us, so that we could dwell in God, so that we could know that you can be true love. And hey, look, I just think I saw a whale. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.